And then the math started to kick in. You talk to 15 people a day, which is nothing if you stop and think about it. That could be getting your sandwiches, coffee, gas, it don't matter. 15 a day is 450 a month. At a 3% close ratio, that's put you at 13 cars for the month without talking to anybody on the lot. To me, it was like taking candy from a baby.
How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey and special guest Fran Taylor. Fran is an amazing man who's just helped so many car dealers grow their sales.
You know, that as if you've heard me talk before, one of my really big things that I do as an individual when I'm trying to move forward, number one is set a goal. Number two, do my reasons why for the goal make me cry? Do they make me emotional? Mm-hmm. So a very clear goal that I can hold and I can write down. It's got to be crystal clear. And then my reasons why got to make me cry. And then from there, I seek expert counsel to find somebody who has done what I want to do in that goal. And I go have a conversation. And hence Fran Taylor. He's a guy that knew a lot more about the automobile business in certain aspects than I did. And I think also another aspect that you taught me, and I don't know that you really taught it to me, but you reinforced it. It's a combination of two things: treating the salespeople with a lot of love, but also treating the customers with a lot of love. If we love our customers, they'll love us back. One of the big things about Fran was repeat and referral business. Mm-hmm. We always talked about that. We always did it, but this was his big thing. Yeah. Was prospecting and referrals and repeats and recommendations and this kind of thing. And how are people going to send you business when you treat them like dirt? And how are salespeople going to treat the customers right when you treat the salespeople like dirt? It just isn't going to work. It's a house of cards. And it implodes.
You can do that in any business, not just car sales. What's so special about you when I sold cars? All I had to do was outperform the other salespeople. I meant it when I said right off the bat, you know, hey, I'm here before, during, and after the sale. My book's called Selling from the Heart. If you mean something when you're telling a customer, there's a good chance they might believe you. And after that, then you've got to follow and do the process better than the competition. To make that sale, there's where the repeats and referrals come in. Mm-hmm. And that's so simple to do. Call them up and send them a birthday card, a handwritten birthday card, with a follow-up phone call. And my biggest thing is that when the customers came in, I had them come see me. I didn't have to chase them down. I used to give a little 10% discount on subs and pizzas. They'd come in and say, hey, you got any more discounts? Yeah, how many you want? So I'd give it to them. And my last question would always be, hey, by the way, who do you know looking?
Who do you know?
And it was so easy. And I always made fun or made fans or become friends with the kids as well as mom and dad. It didn't matter.
Because of this guy, I remember that. It just made me think of something. It became a mnemonic. Who do you know? That's Yinzer. Who do you know? Yep. Who do you know? Who do you? We could tend to combine wars together in the Pittsburgh market. We do. And so that was I remember that. Who do you know? It was always, Fran would teach us that if we were in Panera today, buying our sandwich or whatever, who do you know? Who do you know? Here's my business card. Who do you know? Matter of fact, I'm looking for a car. Great. Here's my number. Give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. I'll do the best I can to give you the red carpet treatment.
It's so easy, to be honest with you. If you do the math, I had a difficult time competing against 25 guys. We were the number one volume Toyota store out of 106 dealers. So we had a lot of people on the showroom floor. But I didn't want to wait outside like everybody else. My general manager said to me the very first week, he said, Fran, there's more people outside ready to buy than will ever be here during our biggest sale. You just got to go get them. So he personally took me out every day for lunch. He said, are you bashful? I said, no. He said, go talk to that lady with the 4 screaming kids. So I had to go over and do it. Be motorcycle guys there with leather and tattoos. Are you prejudiced? No. Go talk to them. After a while, I could talk to King Kong and feel comfortable, but he showed me. And then it started to kick in. You talk to 15 people a day, which is nothing if you stop and think about it. That could be getting your sandwiches, coffee, gas, it don't matter. 15 a day is 450 a month. At a 3% close ratio, that's put you at 13 cars for the month without talking to anybody on the lot. To me, it was like taking candy from a baby. But a lot of the salesmen, when I'm at work, I work. When I'm at home, I stop. The sales is never ending for me. And you never get hate mail for being nice. That's why I'd say, hello, how are you?
This is a good one.
How are you? I don't care if they're pumping gas. Hey, what kind of gas mileage that truck get?
Yep.
By the way, who do you know? Look, nobody. Okay, that's one. I only got 14 more to go. It was so simple. I was so blessed by having a manager said, go get him, kid. And he was behind me 100%. You make one sale a month, it pays for your lunch every day. To me, it was all repeats and referrals. And it was so easy. Like you said, once you build value, if you're fortunate and lucky enough to sell them a car, they're never getting away from me, ever. Because I love them too much. Every sale's worth 2 or 3 more down the road.
Are you selling insurance? Are you selling homes? What's the difference? This guy would sell homes better than anybody on the planet. This guy would sell insurance better than anybody on the planet. And it's not because he's a great salesman. It's because he loves on his team and he loves on his customers. Yeah. And he loves on the population at large. Like Fran just said, what's wrong with, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you today. How's that sandwich? Pretty good. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, by the way, I work at such. If you're ever looking for a new or pre-owned car, please give me a call. Here's my card. How long does that take?
It takes no time at all.
60 seconds, right?
You got to understand what you're going to get back. I do it like I see a little kid in the grocery store. I still do it today. I see a little kid. My goal is I'm going to wave to him. Say, I want him to smile. I just feel so good by doing that because kids don't know nothing. If they smile, man, that's it. I'd look to him. Usually mom's looking over and she'll see that. I said, that's it, cute little girl. What's her name? Sally. Hey, by the way, you seem like a nice person. I sell cars. Who do you know looking to buy a new used car? You got to do a little bit of a meet and greet, but show the love.
That's why when Jim was telling me about you and the connection point that you both have of your book, Selling from the Heart, and our process, Rethink You, of helping people learn how to rethink
Just
sales.
give some proof.
Yes. So this is Selling from the Heart by Fran Taylor. This is nice. It's quality.
Where can you get that book at, Fran? Where can you get that book at?
FranTaylor.net. www.frantaylor.net.
Yeah. And it's got, guys, and you can't see this, but it's got practical things. It's got charts. It's got places where you can write in what you're learning. I know you've done this for years, and you can just tell how solid.
What is that? What does it say on the front of that book?
Selling from the Heart.
No, below that.
How to make $250,000.
How to make $250,000. That's a starting figure there. I got guys making
I
400.
understand. So if I buy the book, it's $36. If I don't buy the book, I take what I'm making right now off of that $250. So let's say I'm making $100,000, which by the way would be a pretty darn good job, right? You're making $100,000. That's 150 times 10 years of working. That's $1.5 million. My point is, and I've said this many times on this podcast, it's not what it costs you to buy the book. It's what it costs you if you don't buy the book. I'm not here to sell this book, but I can tell you this. If you want the book, go get it. If you don't want the book, it might cost you $1.5 million over the next 10 years. That's the facts. And the reason for that is the hand that picks up the book and reads it is not the same hand that puts the book down. If you read that book right there, or some other book, Augmentine wrote a few good ones. There's other books out there. But the point is, if you get one idea from that book and you implement it, do you think we can get one good idea?
Absolutely.
We only need one to get a start, and then we go back and get more. I read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Why would I read a book 162 times? Because the hand that picks up the book is not the same hand that puts it down. When I read it again, it's like, I don't remember ever reading this part here. This is really cool. I'm going to start doing this. I wasn't doing this before.
Fran, you were talking about habits. We talk a lot about disciplines in our Rethink You program, your to-do list and your not to-do list. And you were talking about, man, every time I go into a store, every time I see somebody pumping gas, I say, hey, hello, how are you? How much gas mileage did you get on that Ford F-150? Oh, 19. Hey, if you know anybody that might be interested in need a vehicle, let me know. You were talking a lot about those habits that you just used over and over again, that it actually became part of who you were.
It was a natural thing. You never get hate mail for being nice. And a couple of things Jim said here that I agree. It's the first thing in my book. It's about goals. If you don't know where you're going, you're lost. So what do I want out of the car business? I didn't want to work 50, 60 hours a week like everybody else. I wanted to make lots of money, and all I had to do was figure it out. All the money, to me, was in repeats and referrals.
Yes.
And once I got that money, I scattered it out in the goals in my book. You were saying, is there any good things in my book? There's so much in there. They laughed at me when I started. I had nothing. I say nothing, I mean nothing. I was sleeping under a porch when they hired me. The owner bought me clothes.
Wow.
You know what? When my general manager said, you can do it, I'll help you. That's the first time in my life I ever had anybody wanted to help me. I was just dumb enough to listen to him. When I worked, I wanted to have something to show for it. I wanted that real estate. I wanted to raise horses. I wanted to buy my grandmother a house with water in, and had one person behind me to start, and that was my general manager. I didn't want to let him down. Once he showed me how easy it was, just go be you. I figured it out from him. We always need a coach. When I left, he said, Fran, I'll give you a piece of advice. I said, what's that? He goes, always be a coach, never be a trainer. Give them time like I did you. I understood that right off the bat. There's other stuff in that book, like when people leave, you want to focus on repeats and referrals. I had everybody's birthday. I gave out prospecting tools. I mean, you want to have fun in car sales, call a kid on their birthday and wish them happy birthday, and then hang up.
Yeah.
Don't get the parents back on the phone. They'll call you back within 5 minutes, say, oh, that was nice of you. Da-da-da-da-da-da. By the way, who didn't looking to buy a new used car?
Yeah.
They love it. Who does that? Somebody that cares about people, like Jim was saying about the value. That's what people want. And it don't cost you nothing. A little bit of time. Just keep showing me what to do.
I'm going to interrupt you again. You glossed over something, and so I want this audience, this guy here, this lady over here, I want you to start. This is going to take some time. Might get emotional. That's okay. We cry together. We do. I want to know about sleeping under the porch. How did you get there?
Yeah.
What does that look like? What does that mean? I want to know about that, because you know what? Somebody else on this viewing right now is in that same position. The world is coming to an end for that lady or gentleman, and I think your story would be very inspirational for the public at large. So let's tell that story. If you don't, can you do it for me?
I really don't like to go back. However, I do it when I
do
go.
it for me?
I do. I do it when I go to prison. I help kids out every month. I've been doing that for 5 years. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. What do I mean by that? It took me till I was 38 to figure it out. I was given away when I was 3 days old, raised by some hillbillies, which I'm grateful for. No water, no heat in the house, cardboard windows, all that stuff. We lived off of fish, rabbits, deer. And my stepfather, I'll just say this, we didn't get along when I was on my own in 10th grade. You do a lot of wrong when you're on your own. I was in a diner one day complaining to my friend about how terrible life was, and I lucked out because this old boy said, hey kid, I'll show you how to make some money if you want. Believe me when I tell you, when I said I'd listen, I did. So I was fortunate enough to get hired in the #1 volume Toyota store. And of course I knew nothing like everybody else. It was just me. And my whole life I never had anybody help me. And I wasn't used to that. But he was like a father to me. In fact, I called him Pap all the time.
Wow.
And
Is he still with us?
no, he's gone a couple years. One of the
Sorry to hear
best
that.
men I ever met.
What's his name?
Ken Ryder was his name.
Okay.
You could tell he walked softly, but he carried a big stick. He'd put his arm around you. If he squeezed your arm, you were getting it. And if you didn't, he'd pat you on the back. He helped me so many ways, not just in selling cars, but life in general.
So just to be clear here, this guy here was born rich and born privileged. Am I right?
Rich in some ways, but money-wise, no.
Had a lot of money. Everything was given to him. It was an easy life. He was born with a lot of money. It was an easy life, and all kinds of stuff was given to him. That's why he is a success in the automobile business. Am I right?
I don't know about a lot of money, but I had the opportunity. Hey, I know that looking back, there is no such thing as honesty among thieves. That's a lie. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then. That's another lie, because they all get killed by bobcats, hawks, everything else. So you got to get away from the stuff that sounds good, but it's not. And when Ken would say something to me, I would listen to him. I took it to heart. I didn't want to fail because I'd let him down. I know what it's like when a manager reaches over and tugs on your shirt and say, hey, you get your clothes from Cracker Jack box. I know what it's like when you get laughed at. However,
It hurts.
I worked. I said, you ain't beating me. I was the first one there, the last one to leave. Saturday when everybody left, I put my business cards on all 300 cars. I took them all Sunday night or Monday. And then I made myself a commitment to work for repeats and referrals. So between 2 and 5 o'clock every Sunday, I don't care if it was raining, snowing, or whatever, I had the key to the building. I'd go in and I'd sell myself. After a while, I got to 30, 35, 40, 50 cars a month. My second year in the car business. I don't know anybody can say that. but I
Not
worked.
me. Not me.
But I worked.
Our
And
dealership wasn't selling that many cars a month when you got involved with us. Barely, maybe 50,
see, that's what's
60.
good to look back and see where you were and where you are now.
Yeah,
And you-
right?
Yeah, I remember
It
exactly.
wasn't 100. It wasn't 100, I can tell you
I
that.
know that. You had 4
and then
guys.
we're talking, 4 guys. Well, we had a team, and it was a dealership, and we weren't selling 100 cars a month. If I'm not mistaken, we were making money at about 70 cars a month. And we weren't getting rich, but we were 70 cars a month. Our break-even point, as I recall, was around 50, let's say. So if we could get 70, we would make money. Not a lot, but we'd make money. So we weren't selling 100. These numbers that Fran's throwing out here are incredible. And I think what I would say to the audience today is that if this guy can do it, so can you. I guarantee you, when he was sleeping under the porch, in his mind, he didn't say, you know what? He's looking up, sees the top of the porch, he's laying on basically ground, and he said, someday I'm going to write a book about selling cars. Did you have that thought?
No.
Someday I'm going to sell 50 cars a month. Nope. What he wanted to do was get out from under that porch.
Yeah.
That was his goal. And he did. And he found an opportunity.
That's it.
And that's where he's telling you that he was rich. And I have to clarify, the reason he was rich is because he had 2 eyes and he had 2 ears and he had a brain and he had a mouth. And most importantly, he was willing to listen. And he did. And he determined at that moment when he started listening, if anybody can do this, Fran Taylor can do this. And he was no longer the guy under the porch. So he started to do it. And he determined at that moment that he was going to outwork every single person in that store. You can outsmart me, but you ain't going to outwork Fran Taylor. I remember when I was bankruptcy imminent before Fran, and I was sitting with Chrysler and I told them my whole story, and hey, tears are nice. And they said to me, I remember I'm sitting here, one guy was sitting where Jess is, and my dad's desk was over here. I had developed a habit of coming out from behind a desk to talk to whoever I was talking to. They said it was just a better way of approaching it rather than being behind a desk. So I'm out there, I'm sitting here, there, and the guy looks at me after I told him my story, tears in his eyes, said, Jim, do you still want to do this? I said, yeah, of course I still want to do this. That's why they were coming in to consult my business, which was bankruptcy imminent, and help me. I said, yeah, I still want to do this. That's why I brought you in here. He said, do you still want to sit behind that desk? They pointed at my dad's desk. And I said, listen, I've been wanting to sit behind that desk my entire life. I am not going to be defeated. I will figure this out. And I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Chrysler, if I got to work 26 hours out of the next 24, that's what I am going to do. I will not be defeated. And I know they thought, this guy's freaking crazy. This guy under the porch, he's nuts. But you know what? That's what I did. And I outworked him. Did I not?
Oh, yeah.
Was I a worker?
Absolutely. See, that was like a consultant's dream. And I didn't finish what I started to say about I was being rich. I got away from saying why me to what if I did this?
Say that again. That's powerful.
I got away from saying why me to what if. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. It wasn't until I was 38 that I figured it out, because my son and I were in Africa. I took him over and some of my employees. 15 years later, I said to my son, what do you remember most about Africa? And he said, kids drinking water from a mud puddle. That's when the good Lord said, hey, Fran, how bad did you have it there? And that's when I knew, man, I had it a lot better than other people.
Yes.
So I was real grateful, even though I didn't have what other people did. I realized, okay, I didn't have it that bad. So it's a total flip-flop. Instead of why me, what if I did this? What if I did this? You don't know. So you got to go for it.
But then I just tell you that. It's not what it costs you to buy the book. It's what it costs you if you don't buy the book.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
Absolutely.
It's what it costs you if you don't buy the book. Thank God I bought Think and Grow Rich. Arrogance was my downfall. I knew more than Fran Taylor. Had Fran Taylor come in 1996 when my dad died and say, Jim, I'm here to help you. I said, Fran, I don't need your help. Call me in a month. I'd have turned him down. I did. I had people that wanted to help me, turn them down. But when I got over the arrogance, and instead of why me, what if, that's when I was compelled to from Napoleon Hill's advice, seek expert counsel. I went to Mr. Hamilton, who was my mentor. I love that man. He's deceased, like all of our old guys. But I remember he gave me this list of what I should be doing. I look at the list. Holy crap, I'm not doing anything on this list. I started doing a list. And I still do that to this day. I have a list. Do I have a list?
Yes.
Of what I need to do to recover from my stroke. I have a list. And it's quite long. I was laying in bed last night looking at my list, which is what we teach in Rethink You 2.0, is to review the day. And I did pretty damn good yesterday. Looked at it, check.
Being humble is a major part of it. Now, not everybody, I know there's guys that are fairly wealthy, but on my 30 sales a month group, I don't brag too much. I let the guys do it for me. When I do my private show, It gets their attention when a guy used to sell 15 cars a month, and last year I think his best was 63. And I say, yeah.
That was a
And
good month for us back in 1998. I'm telling you,
well,
99.
it's like you said, I knew how to sell cars, but no one taught me how to do big numbers.
Yeah.
The big advantage I have compared to a lot of guys, anybody can stand on stage and talk. But when you actually go in a dealership and help, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
But you get some that, like you, that said, okay, help me out, and some that roll with it and some that don't. So you don't got to BS anybody when here's what you got to do, here's how to do it, and this is what you'll get. That's all in any business. That's all they want to know. And if you can back up what you say, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating, you guys both just talking about somebody who believed in both of you. For Jim, it was your dad. And for you, Fran, it was like father figure to you, people that believed in you, people that pushed you, and people you didn't want to let down. For those of you who are listening, we believe in you here. I know Jim always wants to give back. We want to give back. So check out our Rethink You program. That's what it's about, teaching you the habits. Check out Fran's book, Selling from the